Hello everybody, it's Dio here from Firm But Fair Gaming, bringing you another Bellwright video. Today we're going to be talking about the Hunter's Camp. So the Hunter's Camp is a Tier 2 building, and you get it after you have researched the toolmaker, and then you can research the Hunter's Camp, and it unlocks the drying rack and the tanner's hut and the tanning rack. So the advantage of having the Hunter's Camp is that you can go and you will have a hunter assigned to it, and you can tell them what animals you want it to hunt, and it will then go out and do that in that priority level. They have a span of 500 meters that they go and hunt in, so you can go for deers, boars, and wolves, which is pretty significant because then you can get the trophies, or rather you can get the stag antlers, the boar tusks, and the wolf fangs. So just for an example here, just to show, if I look at the lifetime of this particular hunting camp that I have, they are primarily hunting just deer. So they have collected 144 stag horns and then 8 wolf fangs, just where I happen to be. There's not a lot of boars, so they haven't done much of that. But you can also see what else they've done. They've accumulated almost 1,800 hide, almost 1,200 raw meat, another 400 large pieces of raw meat, 250 pelts, and then a ton of feathers with 1,700 feathers. So this is just a great way to get an influx of constant meat supply to your base, as well as crafting ingredients with the hides, pelts, feathers, and that sort of thing. So that is the huge advantage of having one of these buildings. Now let's go about going through how to set one up, especially if it is an outpost, and to make it run efficiently. As each hunter's camp does hunt over a span of 500 meters, you do want to make sure that they're spread out. Excuse me. So I have one in my main camp, so the 500 meters. It's hard to gauge what 500 meters is, but my assumption is that this other hunter's camp that I built down here is outside the 500 meters. And then I have even built another hunter's camp over here. And so we have a little triangle here that should cover 500 meters. They shouldn't overlap. And then from this camp here, I've built another hunter's camp up here. So I have 4 of them set up at the moment. And the constant supply that I get of staghorns, which is the primary one that they'll be able to find for the trophies, is I get probably an extra 1,000 renown, if not every day, close to every other day, based on when my workers get around to crafting them. So it is very, very handy in that regard. Like if I go to my storage right now, how many do I have? So I have 10 stag trophies sitting waiting to be used, and that's actually my top-up order. And then I have another 3 boars that have been crafted. So I should actually go place those, because that's probably close to an extra 1,500 renown. So of course you will want to make sure you have your best hunter set up to actually hunt. So here on this outpost that I have, Oleg is my hunter. He's 5 of 7, which gives him a 25% chance for extra game yield. So that's what the utilization is for there. Extra meat, hides, and pelts, and all that sort of stuff. So we want that. Additionally, you will need to provide a cloth quiver and a bow for the hunters to actually use, and then of course we'll need to supply them with arrows. And then for the priority sequence, I always go, because there always seems to be a lot more deer, so priority 1 for deer, then I go 2 for wolves, and then 3 for boars, because I want them to focus on the trophy animals first. Boars can actually kill your hunter pretty easily sometimes, so that's why I had them set as a priority 3. Wolves, your hunter seems to be fairly easy to deal with. And then, of course, we need the feathers for our Tier 2 and some Tier 3 armor, and arrows. So then we'll want to have a surplus of the feathers from there. And then lastly, I just have the rabbits set up for pelts. If I happen to run low on pelts, I might switch the crows and rabbits so that they switch that accordingly. Now, to set this up to run smoothly, there's a couple options. In this particular camp that I've set up, or this outpost rather, I have a foraging station, and it is close enough to a river where they can go and get river reed. So I've set them up to forage for some wood and also some river reed, And then additionally, I have a little crafting bench set up so that they will constantly make their own arrows. Now, as you can see, the lumber mill has done a number on the forest around here, so the ability to find actual wood is not going to be that great. And in that situation, then you will need to set up deliveries. So I have another outpost set up for only hunters, and there's only hunters here. And so for that, I have just set up a delivery. As you can see here, it's called Hunter's Haven is what I've called that little outpost. They receive 3 sets of simple arrows every single day. Give them some food so they can go out there and hunt every single day. Sometimes they go through that 3 arrows pretty quickly, so I should probably do a little bit more, but I have a couple different outposts set up with the hunting, and I only craft about 10 simple arrows a day, I think. So if you find that they're going through it way too quickly, and then just increase the number. So that one I have set out there is actually a T3 hunter's camp, so we'll just breeze out there. As you can see, this one is quite large, and the advantage of this is that there are 2 hunters. So they're just going to go off and go hunting. I guess this guy's a little bit hungry. But with the 2 hunters, they do, like, the output that they create is very significant, which is ideal considering it's a T3 building. But this building hasn't been up for very long. If I go to the statistics, like, they've already got 33 staghorns, a couple hundred meat, and I don't even know if this has been up for 3 weeks or so. So they're doing very, very well in comparison to my other hunter's camp that I have over here, which has been up for significantly longer, and they're only at 23 staghorns. So this one, either my placement was significantly better, or it's just the fact that there's 2 of them, which of course that would play a big factor. But the productivity of the Tier 3 building I have been very, very impressed with. So I highly recommend when you get to Tier 3, definitely put 1 or maybe even 2 of these up. And the renowned farm that they will help with the trophies will be pretty phenomenal. An idea that I've been toying around with that I will probably end up doing in my next playthrough is there are a few different locations where river reed is quite plentiful. So here outside Padstow by the fishermen, there's a bunch of river reed here, as well as there's a bunch of river reed over here by this lake towards Bradford. And then thirdly, another safe spot where you can kind of get river reed is over in this kind of swampy area. There is actually a lot of bandit camps over here, but you can kind of get to this one with your followers quite easily. And the idea that I think would be very great would just be to set up a simple foraging station as well as a simple workbench, and just have 1 follower here, and all they do is collect wood and river reed and produce arrows, and then you would just deliver them out to your various hunting areas. The hunting areas, the hunting camps, with their ability to get those trophies in the meat, is just exponential. You can increase your, what I want to call your soup game, where you get all your stews and all that stuff. So your army, when you do march and you fight bandits and brigands and that sort of thing, they can have a huge amount of meat on them to increase their hit points. You can also have it for yourself, and it just is exponential, as well as with the trophies that you get, which will help you claim more followers. In my next playthrough, I plan to actually have more hunting camps set up quicker, just to get the food surplus and the trophies, because I feel like I waited a little bit too long to get these set up. And again, I only have 4, and ideally, I think if you look at the map, and I know I have it pretty much all cleared out, there are a few more locations where I could have put one. So like I could have potentially had one up over here, and then I could put one down here for sure. I do have one right here as well. And this is another Tier 3 building here that I have. Now that I'm just curious, check on its production. Yeah, it hasn't been up very long either, and it's got 77, so it's just pretty phenomenal. So I think these are like secret treasures, or like of a building. Like, it's kind of the value of it kind of understated just with the food and the trophy capabilities. So I highly recommend putting up several of them, and you will not regret it. I just wanted to conclude by actually like utilizing or using the trophies that we've created, because of course it's worth lots of renown. So I just like to put it in my quick drop. So, of course, the stag is worth 125, the boar is worth another 125, and the wolf, which I don't have at the moment, is only worth 100. But even by just dropping these down here, like I got 750 there. Of course, I have another few heads that I hadn't picked up, another 4, so we're at 875, 1250. Drop down the last boar head here, 1500. Nice and easy, and we didn't do anything really hard to get it. And that is just probably a couple days worth, as they just get tons and tons of stags, horns. If anything, it almost becomes a little bit of a problem to keep up on the wood, but it is highly worthwhile. So that's it for me. I thank you very much for watching the video. As always, we appreciate it. Like, shares, and subscribe, so please click those buttons. And until next time, we will see you in the next video.